and welcome to the first session of Talk Series on Innovation Skills and Entrepreneurial Ventures, organized by Institutions Innovation Council, IIC, St. Berkman's College, Changanasheri. My name is Anna and I am accompanied by Angel. Over the past 100 years, SP College has been the stepping stone to the success of many generations of students, and IIC has chosen an extremely relevant and fruitful session for all of us as part of centenary celebrations. The talk series is on nurturing innovation skills in young minds, startups, and entrepreneurial ventures. And we are indeed honored to have with us Mr. Asif Basheer, Director of Chillar Payment Solutions, Kerala. Over to you, Angel, for the instructions.
Thank you, Anna. Here are just a few guidelines that the participants are requested to kindly keep in mind to ensure the smooth functioning of our program. All the questions for the question and answer sessions are to be posted in the chat box, addressing it to everyone. Question and answer session will be open towards the end of the lecture. A feedback form will be posted at the end of the session. Participants are requested to fill it in accurately. Participants are humbly requested not to introduce yourself in the chat box or unmute yourself, as this might distract the speaker. These were just a few points to keep in mind. Thank you for listening. Before we begin, let's observe a moment of silence. Thank you. To extend a warm welcome to all those who have gathered here on this platform, I invite Mr. Jeremy Sebastian, Social Media Coordinator of IIC SP College. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anna. Respected Principal of the College, Reverend Father Raji P. Kurian, the Vice Principals of the College, Dr. Benny Matthew, Reverend Dr. Jose George, and Dr. Joseph Job, the distinguished speaker of the day, Mr. Asif Basheer, the President of the Institution Innovation Council of our college, Professor Justin John, Dr. Matthew Jose, the convener of the council, Professor Asha Lakshmi, ARIA coordinator, other dignitaries, and all the participants who are virtually connected from various places. Warm greetings to you all. I feel delighted to welcome everyone to the first session of the talk series on innovation skills and entrepreneurial ventures organized by the Institution Innovation Council of St. Berkman's College. The Institution Innovation Council, or IIC, was established by the Ministry of Education, Government of India, with the purpose of systematically fostering the culture of innovation in all higher education institutions in the country. It is with this vision that IIC was established in our college to cultivate entrepreneurial skills in young students and promote their innovative ideas. Since then, the council has been organizing various programs in collaboration with reputed micro, small, and medium enterprises, National Small Industries Corporation, and many other financial institutions. Now, let us move on to the official duty I've been entrusted with. I feel honored to welcome the head of the institution, Reverend Father Raji P. Kurian, to this session. He is a constant source of motivation and unwavering support to all the activities in the college and has always been in the forefront with the clear vision to instill in students the best that is available. I welcome you, Father, to this session. I am extremely delighted to welcome the resource person of this session, Mr. Asif Basheer, who is the Director of Chillar Payment Solutions. He is an illustrious alumnus of our college who did his pre-degree in SB during 1991-93. Mr. Asif Basheer is an MBA graduate from the University of Madras and started his career in sales and marketing with Tata Group. After his distinguished career in many reputed companies in India and abroad, he co-founded Chillar Payment Solutions along with his friends in the year 2013. Chillar Payment Solutions works predominantly in the Fintech space and focuses on software services and smart card technologies. A renowned entrepreneur and eminent personality, His experience as a successful businessman would certainly inspire all the participants here. On behalf of IIC St. Berkman's College and all the participants, I welcome you, sir, to this event. Now I welcome Professor Justin John, the President of IIC, and Dr. Matthew Jose, its convener, to this program. With the relentless and selfless service for the Council, it is their collaborative effort that has made this event a reality, especially organizing this event in connection with the centenary celebrations of the college. I wholeheartedly welcome all the participants to this productive and enriching session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I invite the Principal of St. Berkman's College, Reverend Father Reggie P. Kurian, a man of literature and a visionary, to give the inaugural address. Over to you, Father.
Thank you, Anna. Respected Vice Principals, Dr. Benny Matthew, sir, Father George, and Dr. Joseph Job, dear Mr. Asif Basheer, Director, Chillar Payment Solutions, and our proud alumnus, respected Justin John, sir, President IIC, and Dr. Matthew Joseph, sir, Convener IIC, Ms. Asa Lakshmi, Coordinator of the program, dear faculty members, and my dear participants in both G Suite and YouTube, I think. Good morning to you all. It gives me immense pleasure and proud to be a part of the inaugural meeting of the talk series on nurturing innovative skills in young minds, startups, and entrepreneurial ventures as part of our centenary celebrations. And it should benefit the students and the society at large. I congratulate and thankfully remember the initiatives taken by Justin John, sir, and Dr. Matthew Joseph, sir, for conducting this program. And sure, they are leading our IIC team as a vibrant and enthusiastic team. I feel very proud to see that one of our proud alumni, Mr. Asif Basheer, who has made himself as a very successful entrepreneur, is the first one to give the talk and motivate the participants to dream high and to achieve great goals. Yes, we all know that the COVID pandemic has given us, whether it is a family man or businessman or anything, all a very great setback. And the students, I think, are the most affected group, because I think they are restricted of their social life. Their job opportunities are very much narrowed. They cannot enjoy the beauty and color of the campus, or even they cannot mingle with their peer groups. Yes, but we are sure that this too will go, and we shall overcome all these difficulties. Innovative ideas, missions, and entrepreneurial ventures make new vision and courage to create a new world of hope. And sure, to be or to hear such successful people like Mr. Asif Basheer, our proud alumnus, yes, will give really the participants a new way of thought, approach, and to have a clear vision on life and ventures, I think. Once again, Mr. Asif Basheer, I say that we are proud of you and thankful to your presence. And I request all the participants to benefit from it, from him, and dream high and to reach the height you dream too. All the best to the participants. I am happy to inaugurate the talk series in the presence of Mr. Asif Basheer, the resource person of the day, and Mr. Justin John, the president of IIC, and Mr. Matthew Joseph, the convener of IIC. Once again, I wish all the success to this program and hope that this inspirational talk and sharing may produce internationally or globally known entrepreneurs. All the best to you all. I remain. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. We are honored to have with us the key speaker of the day, Mr. Asif Basheer, Director of Chillar Payment Solutions. I gladly invite you, sir, for the startup trial talk. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Jarin, sir. And thank you, Matthew Joseph, sir, for coordinating with me for quite some time, for 2 weeks or so. And thank you, very Reverend Father Principal, Father Rajiv Kurian. And thank you, the Vice Principals and all the students who have logged in to listen to the startup trail. But just before starting, I was sitting in my home in Ernakulam and thinking that, Ippurum, I think I can use Malayalam and English. That's what Matthew Joseph sir said. So sometimes Malayalam is the best way to communicate because it is basically our language. പ്രിൻസിപ്പളുടെ മുമ്പിൽ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ഒരു ചെറിയ പേടി, അതെന്താന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല. ഇപ്പം പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ലാസ്റ്റ് കോഴ്സ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് 22 വർഷമായി. And he was talking about the illustrious alumni. I mean, I was not. So this is the start of the talk. I thought I will tell you a story, basically my story, and my story, starts quite some time back. But I would rather start from SB College. 1991, when I completed my SSLC in AKJM school in Kanjirapalli. I'm from Kanjirapalli, very close to Chakrashari. I was illustrious enough to get an admission to SB College. At that point of time, it was very difficult to get an admission in SB College for pre-degree. And I'm sure that it is the same even now. I used to read that board which read somewhere in the college, I don't remember where, started 1921. I think that kind of a board is still there somewhere around. So I used to wonder, 1921, much before independence, very, very illustrious people have thought about education. And of course, it has been an iconic college in our era, and it continues to be in this era also. I'm very proud to be an alumnus of SB College, and I must say that one of my best periods in life was SB College. And some of it is basically for the wrong reasons. It is not for the right reasons, in the sense that I really, really enjoyed being in that college. Being in the St. Joseph hostel, I think that hostel is still there. And I really enjoyed being in SB College after the 10th standard. And that was freedom to us. Those days, pre-degree was absolute freedom to us. So that the freedom affected us a little bit in terms of, performance in terms academically. And after that, I went on to study my business management degree, BBA, in Madurai. And then later I went and joined MBA in Madras University. Those days MBA was like, I remember somebody who's asking me, BA, what is this MBA? Those were the days that people in Kanjirapalli did not know what MBA was. And I don't know how I landed to study MBA, because it is all because of the vision of my father, who recently passed away. He always wanted me to study. And after MBA, luckily for me, I got a campus interview to Tata Group of Companies, and I was posted in the Taj Group of Hotels. I was supposed to take up a job, but not like today. Will you guys believe that I had to resign from the designation of joint managing director in my father's business? He used to run factories. My father's business, to join a job which is a sales executive training. People preferred joining jobs at that point of time. And today, a college is organizing, such a renowned colleges are organizing and getting people like me to talk about an entrepreneurial journey. Times have changed in the last 25 years. So to continue with my story and my experience, I joined Taj Group of Hotels. My main ambition was not to become the frog in the well, the so-called exploratory approach at that point of time, at that point of age. I joined Taj. I worked there for about 6 years, and quite a lot of advantages. I traveled quite a few far places in India. I went and worked in Bangalore. I went and worked from Bombay. I met a lot of people. Most of them remain very close friends, even to this point. I met a lot of industrious entrepreneurs being part of the Taj sales and marketing team. And that point of time, I didn't even know when I got the campus, I really did not know that Taj, a hotel chain like Taj, had a sales and marketing team. I was very, very, very fortunate enough to join that particular team. My boss at that point of time, Thomas Rulin. Why I'm talking about Thomas Rulin is that Thomas Rulin also is an alumni of SB. He did his graduation from SB College, and we were not there at the same time. He was slightly senior, but I'm talking about the kind of people that produced. And if today, if I, owe anything, if I studied anything to be a successful professional, most of it is from Thomas. So SB already educated Thomas to come out and work, and later got me out, and then I come and join Thomas. The education and the SB has not left us for quite some time. Even today, Thomas is a elder brother, and he's one of my best friends. But what I'm coming to say is that after 6 years of working in Taj, I got an offer from a KPMG group company, from the CEO itself. That was the time that I was planning to start something. I thought 5 years of experience, 6 years of experience, I always wanted to be a businessman. Few answers were missing in my mind. എനിക്ക് ബിസിനസ് തുടങ്ങണം. എന്തിനാണ് ഞാൻ ബിസിനസ് തുടങ്ങുന്നത്? And what is that business? Is that the rubber business that my family was in for the last 5 generations? Or is it something else? And what did I learn from that 6 years of working in Taj? So, confused, I joined the KPMG business. KPMG business was all about accounting and software and platform bridging and all that stuff. To work with KPMG for the next 10 years. So about 9 plus 6, 9 years or so, 15 years I worked. KPMG, that job with OPI, which is a KPMG company, took me to places. And I was, doing a lot of work in India, as well as I was the head of Malaysian operations. And I also was the head of sales and marketing to the right side of India, which means that India to the right. I mean, Singapore, Malaysia, and so on and so forth. 36 years, married with 2 kids. I started thinking, what should I do? Should I continue? Or should I continue work because it is very easy? I was already 10 years, 9 years into the job. It is very easy to work here. At the end of the month, you get an SMS, which was very far, far, far motivating than the rest of the 29 days that I worked for. After some point of time, some kind of a boredom started hitting me because I'm doing the same thing And I have a lot of ideas in my head, but I really can't do it because it's such a big conglomerate. Although I was in the India management team at that point of time, you can't really think far away from what they are doing or what the business is doing. So suddenly it hit my head that I want to quit my job and do something for one reason, is that the freedom of thought. What is actually freedom of thought? എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു സാധനം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ആ ജോലിയിൽ I could do whatever I could because of the experience and because of my position in that particular company. But that company is into a separate line of business. Then I started, then in the last 2 years of the job, it was basically me thinking what to do. So that comes my first question to all of you that you must ask. This is not a question to all of you. These are, I will keep on asking questions if you want to note it down. And ask those questions to yourself if you are planning to do an entrepreneurial venture now or any time in the future. The first question I think everybody should ask themselves is, why are we starting up? Why are we going to start a business? It could be personal ambition. There are quite a lot of personal ambitions like, money, fame, respect. There are social ambitions, social, what you call, the social stature, the social, position, and today businessmen command a lot of respect in the market. Unlike our times, you talk about many organizations like Infosys or Wipro or even Kerala-bound organizations like Muthoot or Federal Bank. And not to forget V-Guard, Mr. Kochasep Chittilapalli sir is such a renowned personality in the Kerala business. Yusuf Ali. So there is a lot of social stature among becoming a successful businessman. Now that word successful has to be underlined because we will come back to what is successful. The third one is it career ambition? Is it personal ambition, social ambition, or career ambition? After having worked for about 16 years, I am already a vice president. Where can I go? Can I become the managing director of the company, or should I start a company and become the managing director of that company? At 36, I was competing as a vice president. I was competing with people, very, very young chaps from IIM and IIT and Kellogg's and all that, because it was such a big world famous company. So it started, making me think that whether it is my career ambitions, because I think it will take much more longer and, it is a bigger process to advance in my career. So is that career ambition? Or I'll make the answer much easier. Is it a mix of all these? Whether it is a mix of personal ambitions, social ambitions, career ambitions, or all of it. I think for me, it was a mix of all these, because I really wanted to make much more money than that. And I really wanted to advance in my career. I really wanted to do a lot of things by myself, which is personal. I wanted to do a lot of stuff for the society. I wanted to be recognized in the society. So all these thoughts were going through my mind, and I decided that I will start up. Now comes the big question. What are you going to do? What is the business that you're going to do? Then I was thinking, I had a job already. I was traveling quite a long time, quite a bit of a time. So one day, it so happened that I was sitting in one of the Starbucks cafe in Malaysia, sitting outside, having a cup of coffee in Starbucks. Suddenly, one train passed overhead, monorail, whatever that is, metro. And then I immediately looked into my pocket and I realized that there was a card in my pocket. Whenever I go to Malaysia, I used to spend quite a long time in Malaysia because I was handling the operations as well there. So that card, suddenly a lot of things in the childhood came to my mind. The biggest of it was, now let me tell you, when I grew up, till 4th standard, I used to go in a school bus. And after 4th standard, 5th standard to 10th standard, I studied in this prestigious school called AKJM. And I used to go in the public bus, or the line bus, as we say. The line bus. When we get ST, രാവിലെ വീട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് അങ്ങോട്ട് പോകാൻ 15 പൈസ, ഇങ്ങോട്ട് തിരിച്ചു വരാൻ 15 പൈസ. Fortunate enough to be born in a very good family. My grandmother used to give me 50 paisa every day. So 15 അങ്ങോട്ട് 15 ഇങ്ങോട്ട് 30 പൈസ. And then you get a balance of 20 paisa, which I was free to spend. That is my muttai paisa. But that's what we used to call. So 20 paisake muttai, 20 paisake, I mean kids today, I mean kids who are attending the school, 20 paisa was something like, I would rather say about 5 rupees or 10 rupees today, because I used to get handful of candies and I can chew that on my way back home or going to the school or whatever. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ ഈ കയറി 50 പൈസ കൊടുക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും അയാൾ അന്ന് 20 പൈസ ഒരു 10 പൈസ തരാം, 5 പൈസ അവിടെ പോയി. 15 പൈസ ഒരു 5 പൈസ എനിക്ക് തരില്ല. അന്ന് 5 പൈസ ഇസ് എ വാലിഡ് കോയിൻ. തിരിച്ചു വരുമ്പോഴും ഇത് തന്നെ സംഭവിക്കും. 5 10 പൈസ പോയി, ഭാഗ്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ എനിക്കൊരു 10 പൈസ കിട്ടും. എൻ്റെ the toffee, the candy that I buy is only for 10 paisa. I've lost 50% of my savings for that day. So that, I guess, suddenly came into my mind into Malaysia while I was sitting, because adana bhayangara deep affected as a child. It may sound silly for many people, but to me it was very emotional, because this guy is taking away my 10 paisa every day. Then suddenly another article which I have read in Malayalam Manorama, Sunday supplement, ആ സമയത്തെങ്ങാണ്ടാണ്, പക്ഷേ at least 3-4 years back of this particular incident, I read an article in Malayalam Manorama. India ഗവൺമെന്റിന് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റിസർവ് ബാങ്കിന് 1 രൂപയുടെ കോയിൻ പ്രിന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ or mint ചെയ്യാൻ it cost about 1 rupee 10 paisa. So I conceptualized the idea, and luckily I was staying alone there in Malaysia. In the next 2-3 days I realized that this is going to be an idea. I have to solve the problem of Chillar, and that's how the company Chillar Payments Solutions have been born. Sometimes it is quite silly to think that, you know, this is the way a business idea has come into me, from Malaysia to back to Kanyarapalli and then back to the Reserve Bank News. 3 things connected, and I really got that idea, and I was still thinking. That was the big idea according to me. So solving the problem of Chillar in our country, and I'm still after that. After 8 years of doing business, I'm still after that, and we have gone quite far in doing that problem. So that idea, the next thing that I wanted to do is I came back from Malaysia, and you know, I have few cousins that we go. Some of them are in Kanyarapalli, some of them are outside. So ഈ കസിൻസ് എല്ലായിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു ബോട്ടിങ്ങിന് പോയി. അപ്പോൾ ആ ബോട്ടിങ്ങിന് പോയപ്പോഴത്തേക്കും എൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും ക്ലോസസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള 2 കസിൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, സാദത്ത് ആൻഡ് ഷഹാസ്. So they were on vacation, and we were on vacation in Kotanad on a houseboat, and I told them this. The first reaction was, this is a fabulous idea. Following that, Shahaz, my cousin, he was an IT guy, he offered to join my business. I said, wow, suddenly I've got a person. So we went around and we started thinking what is the technology and all that. We decided to start that idea of digitizing payments in buses in Kerala. We'll start with Kerala. So what did we do? We went and asked a lot of people, friends, family, people who are traveling by bus, and we went to Public Bus Owners Association. Private Bus Owners Association, sorry. So we went and met them. അവിടെ നിന്നാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ പണി തുടങ്ങുന്നത്. On one side, we were creating technology. On the other side, we were trying to get a permission to run these systems on a pilot basis in the buses with Private Bus Owners Association. It took us 7 months to convince them. So you have already got your idea, and you're so convinced, and you've already checked it with different set of people. There are some missing points in the first venture that I started. So I will point it out later. But we already did that user check. We did that peer check. We did that friends check. Now, that is the question, another big question that we have to ask ourselves. You have an idea, you're convinced about it, people around you are convinced about it. Are you sure that your idea is going to solve the problem of a sizable population? When you say sizable population, a sizable population is required to validate a business. I'm getting slowly into a little bit of a theory at the end of each stanza of my story. We did all that. We were very convinced, and we came back to the drawing board and we started working on it. So the next question was, what was our ambition? Is Kochi private bus was our ambition? Or is Kerala buses were our ambition? Government buses were our ambition? Or do we want to go outside Kerala and, bigger players and all? So the question that professors and big businessmen all will tell you, what is called a vision. You must have a vision. Wow. Now, I still remember learning in the college the difference between vision and mission. I've never got it done clearly. So when I started the business, it hit me that vision is something that you want to be in after a certain point of time. Theoretically, I might be wrong, but the professors, please pardon me. For me, vision is something that is going to happen after a long time. It is a long-term ambition. So, for example, just to make you understand, I might have a vision that I might lose about, let's say, 10 kilograms of weight, and I should have a very muscular body. That is a vision. And what is happening in that vision? That vision stays as a vision. Now, the first thing that we did is to get across to all the buses in Kerala. What do we have to do? We have to start from Kochi. So the first step. So how do you see a vision? That vision, it's easily understandable for everybody around you and working with you, is to break it into smaller parts, which is called the goals. So to get a muscular body and to reduce the weight, probably after 2 months or 3 months or after 1 year, I should get that, but I should start exercising today. What do I do? And then I go into that goal and set all of that and say that I must exercise 1 hour. Out of that 1 hour, I should do these kind of exercises for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and 10 minutes, or whatever that is. So breaking them down into small things are called goals. So we started setting that because I already have had the experience of working with multinational, humongous companies. Some of this was already drilled into me by the job and the college and the education that I had. When, let me just go away. Let me not go away from that particular part. So it would have been much easier if it was a live presentation or I was standing in front of you. But if any of you want to start a business, you know what you should do? Quite crazy. You have a vision. Can you see that vision? Close your eyes. Can you see that vision? Example of vision could be all the people in South India using Chillar cards as a mode of transport or the payment instrument for transportation. I close my eyes and I see, can I see that? If you can see that vision, if you think that is possible, the next question is, don't open your eyes, try to feel it. There is an emotion with every thought that comes to your mind. Can you feel that emotion in your mind? Still keep your eyes closed until you can feel that emotion. Don't start. If you don't believe in what you're going to do, or if you can't feel what you are going to achieve, or if you can't really sense that level of understanding, please do not do it. Then the big word that every business magazine or every business house is talking about is passion. Let me explain it very simply for you. Do you love what you're going to do? Many of us studied different subjects at younger years because we were asked to. Today, is it that somebody is going to tell you, go start up a business, go do this, go do that? Or you yourself have convinced yourself that I'm going to do this business. You're going to get into a fintech industry, or are you going to get into an event industry? Are you going to get into hospitality industry? Again, think deeply whether you actually love doing that. That is what they call passion. Because why I'm saying that, in the next few moments, I'll tell you what is going to hit you in this entire journey. If you don't have that vision or of that future, and you don't love what you're doing, it is very difficult. I'll tell you why. We launched the bus. Bus packages, 12,000 almost cards were sold. 238 buses started running with Chillar stickers. We had a mega start, inauguration, launch and all that. And we are waiting in front of the system. ആരെങ്കിലും ടിക്കറ്റ് എടുക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ, ആരൊക്കെ ചാർജ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ആൾക്കാർ ചാർജ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്, ചാർജ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്ര ടിക്കറ്റ് എടുക്കുന്നില്ല. Paisa is not coming to us because we have to settle the buses. Went by, months, days passed by, months passed by. There is activity, but there is no adoption. People are not really taking this thing. Then, we went out and started looking at the reasons. Why is that? As I always tell to my colleagues and my team, if we are failing, we can have a lot of reasons assigned to it. And that's what I mentioned. If you don't have the vision and if you don't love what you're doing, when the first failure hits you, you will be terribly tired. And the failure in the failure of the business, I'm supposed to motivate you, but I also have to tell you the other side of the story. The motivation will come a little later. Believe me, it will come. Why I'm telling you in a chronological order of my business journey is because we'll have to understand. In about 6 months to 8 months, we realized that this bus business is an absolute flop. We have almost spent 60% of capital into this business. All of it is lost. System is not working is not the answer. People associated with this business, there are quite a lot of people associated with this business. What they call when we study is stakeholders in the business. There is a driver, there is a conductor in the bus. There is the bus owner, there is the traveler, and there are authorities who are controlling. Let me not point out. 2 factions of this entire stakeholders didn't like the entire business, probably because it was not serving them well. They were deciding factors, and we had to stop the business. And this is why I say, when you completely stop after having spent almost 60-70% of the capital that you had, it is gruesome. It is very cruel to a person like me and the people who actually was with me. Very sad phase of my business. 2 years or 2.5 years after the start of my business, having spent so much of time, having spent so much of energy, money, and sleepless nights, like they say, burn the midnight oil, you have completely failed. You have nothing to go. You just go in the morning into the office and you see that nothing is working, and you have piled up machines there and a lot of cards, and people are calling because we'll have to give the money back. We kept on giving the money back. Whoever came with the recharge cards, we kept on giving the money back. We had great associations in between. Airtel came and associated with us. Muthoot came and associated with us. Nothing helped. The business failed. And there are quite a lot of reasons that the business failed. One of the reasons, what I want to come back into a kind of this thing is timing. So there are 2 types of timing. One, was it the right time to start a business? Let me give you an example. When I was working in Taj, in Cochin, we used to get 1 room per day through internet bookings. Today, if I ask them, about 75% of the rooms are coming through internet bookings. I've heard about a person in Calicut who started internet hotel booking through internet in 1999-2000. He miserably failed. But today, the Go Ibibo and the Make My Trips are minting money because the timing was correct. So I'm not saying that the bus business timing was wrong. Yeah, timing was one of the reasons. Today, there is metro that we are already traveling by car, and today there are, Umta, and there is a lot of stuff which has come and taken over that business that we've started at that point of time. The timing has to be, is very important. And one of the studies that I've recently heard on a TED Talk says that timing is one of the most important things. So what are we talking about? We have an idea. We have we have the technology to do it, but the timing went bad, or the stakeholders were not participating. The resultant is a failure. We came back and sat in the office thinking that the entire thing has fallen apart. What do we do? What next? So what next is a question sometimes will hit you, but remember, my vision or the team's vision was not successfully running the cards. My vision was solving the problem of Chillar. Solving the problem of Chillar has metamorphosized into a different vision at that point of time. So what did we do? We slowly started thinking about what is the other thing that we can do with it. At that time, I had a lot of people leaving the team, and I got a new set of team members. And interestingly, I had found 3 other more people to join me. I've offered them to join to a failed business, explain my conviction, explain my vision, conviction, and dream and ambition about creating this system. And then joined my 3 partners. Today, they are my partners. In the order of joining, Srireka, who used to work with me at the KPMG company, Hari, who used to work with me at the Taj, and now when I was talking to him, he was the regional head of marketing for LG Electronics, and Feroz, who used to be teaching at the University of New Zealand and who used to run a small company, and he had an experience with IBM. At a failure point, if you're being extremely positive and focused, I'm sure you can still attract people, and people makes or breaks your business. And we started a new journey with the same Chillar, but we had a technology platform that we already created. And with the new set of people, we started working again. And working or hard working, I like to use the word hustle. If you really want to make something out of yourself, friends, I mean, you are talking about really hustling, not even hardworking. Hardworking is an understatement. And what do you do along with hardworking is that you think. You keep on thinking. And I think there is a book called Think and Win Big. I think all of you must read that. But at the end of the day, we are not famous, especially educated people are not famous for doing physical works. Should be the one who is continuously thinking. And we started thinking, Master business potty, you're flat, there's nothing doing. You really don't want to, brood upon that if you're extremely positive and focused. So that's when another idea hit us. The idea was use the same platform, but digitize the money that students spend in the campuses. Okay, let's go. We went to a lot of campuses and we understood that, my son was carrying money to buy socks, to buy books, to buy coffee, to buy, whatnot. A lot of options are available for students. And my partner, one of my partners told me that, people are getting addicted to vices because of pocket money. Students are getting addicted to vices because of pocket money and so on and so forth. We created an MVP, a minimum viable product. Me and my sales and marketing colleague or partner, Hari, we went around the entire Kerala and visited about more than 300 schools and understood where our product stands. We came back to the drawing board, worked hard on it. About 2015, end of 2015, early 2016, we started getting traction. We got 5 clients. That is a celebration. You know why I say celebration? The ultimate success could be coming much later. But even if you don't motivate yourself, somebody might just call me today and say, Asif, I'm interested in your business. Can we talk next Tuesday? What do? After having spent about 25 years working and doing business, I say, yes, I have got an inquiry. That is a reason to celebrate. So Hari and I went across entire Kerala and created all these kind of leads and came back and we started getting clients. Finally, a business which started in 2013, I've got some sizable revenue coming in the early 2016. And then my alma mater, my dearest college, St. Berkman's College, a student council of St. Berkman's College and the principal, also I think that time the management fraternity from the St. Berkman's College called me and said, Chillar Payments Solutions have won an award. Wow. We were quite excited and we won the St. Berkman's award for management. I think it was for the best startup. and we were sharing the stage with Sheila Kochai Chittalapalli. Such a momentous occasion to us. In fact, coming back to getting an award at Cowcut Hall was always my dream, but destiny was something else. I couldn't come. My other partners came to SB College, and I couldn't come for a different reason. NASSCOM, National Association of Software and Services Company in India, selected that for an award, which is the most fast emerging 50 companies in India. And Chillar Payment Solutions suddenly, from a complete heartbroken failure, have come back to life with an SB College award and a NASSCOM 17th position in India on the same day. Business started coming in. We kept on growing. Campus Wallet was doing well. Today, we have thousands and 10,000s of children using the Campus Wallet product across 7 states in India. And some governments of some few countries, smaller countries like Qatar and Bahrain, is already talking about making Campus Wallet compulsory and mandatory for all the students working in studying in the schools. Not stop you, and the success, you can't ride on the success for quite some time. Campus Wallet is all about doing in-house payments inside the school. Again came the COVID last year. All schools closed. Out of crores of revenue that we should have got in a year, we got 89,000 rupees as revenue that year. Again, coming back to the drawing board, this time you can't even sit together like principal was saying. You really have to work from remote places, and then you'll have to replan. We planned again. But this time, because I think we were already in the industry for 5-6 years, and with God's grace, people started calling us. We didn't realize that we already have carved out a market. Just before that, in 2019, something else happened. I got a call from a lady out of the blue and said, is it Asif? I said, yes. I'm calling from the British High Commission. I said, yes, ma'am, tell me. You've been selected on a wildcard entry for the Britain's most prestigious award called the Rocket Ship Fintech Award. Guys, I never believed it. I thought it's one of those friends who have worked with me, some lady coming back after a long time, taking a number and calling me and giving me a April Fool kind of a thing. Oru 10 minutes ago, I got an email, and the first thing I checked in the email was whether that email was actually from the British High Commission, and it was. 2019, Chillar Payment Solutions have become the first ever company to win the British government's Rocket Ship Award, the first company from South India. And in that year, they selected only 7 companies from India. And all around the world, they had selected about 50 companies. You can't really sit back because you have failed once. You'll have to really get up and going again. And again, after 2019, they invited us to open an office in UK. I went to UK, received the award from the Westminster Hall. We were taken to a room, and a couple of member of parliaments were there from the British the House of Commons and the House of Lords. They spoke to us and they said, we have made this room in the Westminster Palace, which is a British Parliament, because this is the room where a lot of decisions about India was taken pre-independence. What a proud moment. And we were receiving that award in the Parliament, and we came back and we were offered to start in London for free for 2 years at least. We came back, COVID hit. We were always working. We were passionate about working, and we really wanted to make a clear mark in the fintech industry, and we were going out to solve a real problem, which is the Chillar, and a smaller thing added to it, but it has become the bigger vision today, is to solve digital currency in rural India. We were quite on to that. COVID hit. All of us are sitting in front of video like this. I had about 25 people. Now we are about 32 people. Suddenly I get a call from Federal Bank, our own Kerala bank, saying that, You've done a lot of fintech business. Can you create a cashback solution for us? Wow. We started making the cashback solutions with the existing set of people. The news has spread. Bahrain Financial Company, Tuskerberry, another company from Canada. Bahrain Financial Company is a 100-year-old bank and a remittance company in Bahrain. Tuskerberry, another company from Canada. Credit AI. Credit AI is a company in Singapore, advised by the University of New South Wales, Sydney. And a host of other companies started coming to us saying that, Chillar, we know you. Can you make this product for us? Can you make that product for us? Can you make this solution for us? We started. And luckily for us, with God's grace, we started growing in COVID. The only reason, what I would rather say that, while I said we can find a lot of reasons for failure, I really can't find a lot of reasons for success. Maybe one or two attributable reasons for success always is your perseverance, your vision. You will not fail. If you decide that we cannot fail, how will you fail? And of course, at the end of the day, as a believer, God's grace, we started growing again. Today, in 2021, I think we are a formidable company in the fintech space in India, having won several recognitions and awards, and continuing to grow with more and more clients and more solutions. Even we are talking to one of the major public sector banks in India to automate and digitize the farmer loans in the country. So they are all going to be extremely interesting projects. Starting up is definitely not an easy job. Traveling through the startup for the last 8 years and coming to a point where people are calling us, a success. I think it has been many reasons that I just discussed with you. It should be the courage to start up, thought process that has gone through anybody's mind. It is the experience and the knowledge that you take. And there are a lot of attributable reasons for success, or there are a lot of attributable reasons, but please bear in mind that none of this comes easy. If you're going to start up, it is going to be a tough job, but it is going to be an extremely motivating phase of your life. Now, before completing my story, success is very relative. Some people do business for making a lot of money. And I think, fortunately or unfortunately, the yardstick of any business is profit. Although I realized, I was telling Matthew Joseph sir yesterday, I realized after starting business, one of the most important thing that you must understand is the finance part of it. And when you come to finance, I'm not asking you, you must know how to make a journal or a ledger, but you must understand what is a P&L and what is a balance sheet. And after starting to do business, what I understand is cash flow is the most important statement. Sometimes even, more important than the P&L and balance sheet. Having said all this about the entire journey, we have not touched the topic of today's discussion, innovation. Let me put it very simple. Innovation is something that you do in your daily life. Have you started a business with an idea? And if that idea is always go back to your drawing board and say, is that idea going to solve problem for others? That is the most important thing. I have a great idea, but nobody wants to buy it, like my bus business. That is going to be an innovation. It is definitely an innovation. Number two, we made a platform. Innovating another product into it called Campus Wallet really changed the life of Chillar and people associated with it. That is also innovation. Today morning, we are doing a meeting by Google. Tomorrow, we are planning to do a meeting by a different way, probably, I don't know. That is innovation. Trying to do a thing today, trying to complete a particular day's work in a normal way, and it is changing it is innovation. Innovation has to be there in your daily life. I always have read that innovating, today if you're getting up and having a cup of chai, tomorrow Try not to do that. That will give you a different perspective. So innovation is all about creating a different perspective to your daily life, and that will create a wonderful experience. Recently, I'll give you a small example of innovation. We decided to have two types of employees in our company. One is high performers, the other one is critical staff. So in a management discussion, my partners asked me, how are we going to differentiate between them? So I'm sure all of you have seen the new WhatsApp feature while listening to a particular voice message sent by your friend or somebody. You can increase the speed by 1.5x and you can increase the speed by 2x. So I said, apply that. Or we decided that for high performers, we will do their career advancement in 1.5x, which means that instead of 1 year appraisal, we will have a 9 months appraisal. For critical high performers, we will say 2x. Instead of 1 year appraisal, we will have a 6 months appraisal. So that is also innovation. That innovation, inspiration has come from somewhere. The entire Chillar inspiration has come from a thing which is happening in my childhood, or a Malayalam Manorama Sunday supplement article. Innovation, I mean, there are so many ideas which is already there in your back end, I mean, your back of the mind. But at the right time, you'll have to bring in. For that, you need to definitely think and focus much bigger. The last part of the story is that I've already told you the sufferings that we've gone through. The sufferings were financial, the suffering were mental, the suffering sometimes became physical because we couldn't even sleep. Starting up the business, failing, doing it again, and starting it again, and trying to do that. I mean, we lost all our money. People have started asking us, what are you doing? We couldn't come back to sleep. We couldn't sleep properly. We couldn't exercise properly because we were working, we were struggling. To all that. Recently, I was reading in one of the articles in Harvard Business Review that, you know, the point, the decimal place of, you know, percentage that somebody becoming viral and somebody becoming bigger is 0.0000, I don't know how many zeros, and at the end of there is a 1. Maybe a Facebook, maybe a WhatsApp. But even if you read the story of WhatsApp, they have been bootstrapping from a small place for quite some time. So all of this is in this journey. How much and how long are you ready to suffer? And every success has got its own suffering behind it. Now, there are certain things that I would like to leave before I get into the question answer session. I see a lot of questions coming already. What is the most important thing when you're preparing to start a business? I say be straightforward to yourself. Tamashalla. You ask yourself, am I living in a mythical belief that my product will become success one day? Or am I going to answer that as if your product sucks? It will not happen. Are you going to be straightforward to your own questions? As a businessman, as an entrepreneur, as a creator, and as a professional, are you going to answer that answer straightforward to yourself? Now, the second one, you always define success. Success in business is always money, is always positive cash flows. But what is success for you? Success for you may be people recognizing you while you're walking into one of the malls in Cochin, or while you're traveling in a railway station, or while you're in an airport, people come to me and speaking to you saying that, hey, you're the guy who started that business up. Wow. Is that success for you? Is that money which is success for you? Is that a television reporter calling you saying to take an opinion about you without you doing a PR exercise? They're calling you saying that, hello, sir. Hello, ma'am. Is that, can you give an opinion about this recent development because you are one of the biggest players? Is that success? Or is all of this success? But define success. While you define success, definitely celebrate your success. Because in a startup journey, it is really tough. And there will be a lot of successes before failures, and there will be a lot of successes after failures also. At the end of the day, you define success, and if you define success, is celebrate your smallest successes. Overcome your biggest failures. Failures are vittala. Finish it. I mean, leave it. Ask my family, I don't agree that I failed. Although I agree that I failed, I don't agree that I should quit. I failed multiple times in this business. I failed multiple times in my job. But at the end of the day, today, if my erstwhile college, St. Berkman's College, has to give me an award in 2016, and at 2021, if they are asking me to come on this thing and talk to you, I consider myself successful. And it is kind of a sum total. I've had a lot of failures. I've had a lot of successes, but I think today my successes overweigh the failures. Again, let me remind you, celebrate every success, small or big. Now, the most important thing that I would like to share with you is the focus. There are certain practices that I do because I'm in a thinking business. Most of the times I do my daily work and I do a lot of other stuff, which I will tell you in the next this thing. But focus is the most important thing. The biggest distractor today is our mobile phones and internet and all that stuff. Are you ready? Until and unless you are extremely balanced and successful, are you ready to keep this away from you? I don't put my notifications on in my phone because that is the biggest issue when it comes to focus. I'm thinking about a problem. I'm here to solve a problem. I'm here to create a product. I'm here to create a new way of marketing the product. Tung, there's a notification coming. Gone. Are you ready to keep your social media? Maybe once in a day only, maybe 25 minutes. Can you bring in that kind of a discipline? You know, that it is not the time. You may say that it is 20 minutes or 25 minutes or 10 minutes each across 6 hours, which will become less than 1 hour. That is fine. That's not the time. If you're basically thinking, you are in the thinking business. An entrepreneur is always thinking. An entrepreneur is always solving problems. The problem is your mind space. Immediately some joke or something comes in your mind, some Facebook or some WhatsApp thing or some Instagram thing comes in your mind and gives you a, you're laughing, you're enjoying. But to get back that mind space, it takes much more time. Probably my opinion, but I think focus towards your work and the mind space that you create for the work is going to be extremely important. A lot of students, thank you very much. I don't remember the exact names, but a lot of students have sent me LinkedIn invitations in the past few days from SB College and some other colleges. I'm sure that is because of the lecture which is going to happen or the talk which is going to happen. But almost all of them would have realized that I've accepted all of them today morning because I keep a disciplined approach, not to LinkedIn, but LinkedIn I'm always there because it is part and parcel of my job. Now, some truths. Whenever you starting about business, a lot of people will tell you a lot of stuff. But let me tell you, there are some truths in that. One, learning. We already discussed when to start. We'll come back to that because I think there will be definite questions about when to start. Learning is going to be continuous. Learning doesn't end in your college days. SB, as a great college, will teach you what management is all about. What you're going to get out of that college. When you're going to get out of that college, you are only terminology ready. Means you probably will understand what is a capital cost. You will probably understand what is a new product development. You will probably understand the techniques of brainstorming. You will also maybe understand span of control and so on and so forth. These are the topics that I learned 23 years before. But you don't expect me to remember all this if I don't keep on updating. Keep on updating and keep on reading the most important journals and business magazines. Now that comes to my second point. Reading. Not a politically inclined statement, but if you basically watch any of the greatest people, and I think in terms of vocabulary, Dr. Shashi Tharoor is a great man to follow. So somebody asked him recently in one of the Trivandrum colleges, which is the word that we must study today. Many of you might have seen that video. He very clearly said the most important word that you should study today, tomorrow, every day is read. Immensely read. Read as much as you can. And the third most important truth about it is that you always have to stay inquisitive. What is that? What is this? Why is this company getting funding? What is this company not getting funding? Is funding more important? Is marketing more important? Will I become viral, or why will not I become viral? What are the reasons for my successes? What are the reasons for my failures? Why is it people thinking like that? Always be inquisitive, like a small kid, always be inquisitive. And the last point before I end this presentation formally is that every information that you get is important. Just to do that with a small example, we were in the business of marketing in Taj in my first job, and I had this great, phenomenal regional manager called Sunil George. Sunil is now heading a big company in Sydney, based out of Australia. So, as a boy, as a trainee boy, as a sales executive, once I got into Sunil's office, Sunil hardly knows how to read Malayalam because he was born and brought up in Chennai. ഞാൻ നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ സുനിൽ ഇരുന്ന് വനിത വായിക്കാം. ഞാൻ സുനിലിനോട് ചോദിച്ചു, Mr. George, why are you reading Vanida? And I'm a boy, why should I read Vanida? I mean, he's reading Vanida and he's like all suited, booted, the director, the regional head of this thing. He said, do you have women in your customers? I said, yes. Then you must understand what they are up to. So that again goes to, very clearly gave me an understanding that every information that is coming by is important to you today. If not today, tomorrow definitely. Process that. Think about it. Park it. With that, I think I come to the end of my story, which I tried to connect through certain practices and steps that one must follow, according to me, in starting an entrepreneur. So I think I've overshot the time a little bit, but again, probably if that is okay, I will be more than happy to take questions.
Thank you, sir, for that exceedingly beautiful session. So now we'll begin the Q&A session now. Participants are requested to post their questions and we will be reading that out to you, sir.
You will be reading, or should I read it? I mean, maybe.
So, which one do you prefer?
Oh God, there are a lot of questions. I'll read it.
Yes, sir.
I think it is much better.
Sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it is Jerin Sebastian. Participants can post questions. Okay, that is an instruction. Then Cyril K. Tom. Okay, Cyril. This is a question definitely I expected. Cyril, if you're on the call, can you just put on your video and then we'll see and talk. Some people say start your career in entrepreneurship, learn by making mistakes, and some have the opinion of starting career in a reputed company. Get to how an organization functions and then go to entrepreneurship. What would you suggest? Cyril, are you there?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I'm outside right now, so I want.
No problem. Cyril,
Yes.
Cyril, the most important question of today, I'm sure that this question was a sure shot. Let me give you my answer. There are people who have started company like Mark Zuckerberg at the age of just outside the college or even inside the university and made it a big success. And there are people like, one of the iconic businessmen of India, Captain Nair, who started the Leela Group of Hotels, I think, at the age of 62. So there is no theory which will prove that you have to start immediately or you have to start later. But if you ask me personally, I will give you my opinion. There'll be two parts to my answer. One, how much have you learned to do a business? Don't worry, you will learn much more in a business than you will learn in a job. The second part of my question is the finance. When I left my job at 36 years old, I was sure that I will survive for 3 years. In my opinion, I should have planned for 5 years, because 5 years, 3 years, I didn't expect my revenue. But it took me 5th year, I started getting sizable revenue to continue my life. So that finance becomes very important, because you can't say, I hate people saying money is not everything. I say money is very important. I don't say money is everything, but I say money is very important. Today, my answer to this question financially is that today, if you think that you can survive for the next 3-5 years without any income, zero income, go for it. If you think your income is very important to you at this point of time, then join a job. While joining a job, don't leave your aspiration to start a business. The advantage of joining a job, not because I started business much after joining a job. The advantage of joining a job is that you're paid to learn. Today, you're paying to the college to learn. In a job, you're getting paid to learn. Both are okay. Learning will happen if you're really, really focused, and if you really want to win, all this will happen. But finance is a reality. Learning will continue to happen, but finance and means of living is a reality. It all depends upon you. When do you want to start the business? Cyril, I think I have answered your question. Can I go to the next one?
Sir, just a little bit more, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if I'm keeping the money factor aside, so if I'm working in an organization, a reputed company, there could be certain functional areas. So,
Yes.
but if I'm starting an entrepreneurship, let's say for an example, there won't be an HR department, or there won't be any specific departments to carry out certain functions. So I won't be getting an exposure in those aspects, right?
So Cyril, in the first 6 years of my job, I never got an exposure into HR because I was completely into sales. After that, when I joined the KPMG office, I started realizing this question that you asked me while even you are a student, you're a very thinking boy. I started realizing this enike sales matra arivu. Then I started getting into administration. Then I got into finance. I started asking for it because I was already a senior. I used to work as an assistant to the finance manager, although I am the head of sales and marketing. Then I used to go involve myself in HR. Then I started handling administration. I started reading contracts to understand what is legal. Then seeing my enthusiasm, my CEO from US asked me to handle the entire Malaysian business. Then I was handling a profit center. Idellam oru natural course of action. But if you're starting the business, now in the beginning of the discussion that I said, I've got amazing people to work with me. So don't ever think of starting yourself alone. I'm completely against it. Find the best people. It could be your partners. It could be your employees. So I spoke about 5 people in my entire discussion as partners. Shahaz was an IT guy. The second one was Srireka. Srireka was working with me in the IT company. She was an internal auditor and she had immense experience in operations. Hari is a marketing guy, and Hari came up with extensive amount of experience in marketing and handling people. Fairuz. Let's talk about Fairuz history. He finished his engineering from Thrissur Engineering College, went on to do his MS from Nottingham University. After that, he worked for IBM. Then he did a NGO project for Microsoft. After that, he went to New Zealand University to pursue his doctorate, and he was studying there teaching there in New Zealand University as well. And started back and while coming back, he started a small company. So imagine the kind of muscle power that I had. Even after 16 years of experience, I was very particular that I should have these kind of people around me. So it is gaining the experience or taking the experience from others. That's why we have in today's world, there are so many people called mentors, and you can easily use their services. Cyril.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. The next question is Anupama Sumangala. What entrepreneurial tricks have you discovered to keep you focused and productive in your day-to-day busy schedule? I think Anupama has asked this question before I told. The trick is very simple, Anupama. The trick is focus. So let me also give you an insight which I got from listening to one of the greatest monks who is a speaker also. He said, if I continue doing something, if I continue for example, if I continue writing, I become an expert in writing. If I continue doing running, at the end of 1 month, I'll become an expert in running. If I do something, if I continue making chapatis, I'll make an expert in making chapatis at the end of 2 months or 3 months. So what are we practicing today? We are practicing distraction. And what will we become? The master of distractions. Keep your distractions away. That is the most important trick. And distraction, I say, is not family. Distraction, I say, is not friends. Distraction, I say, is notifications, the biggest villain in my life. I don't know what about yours. And also the social media. Social media is a must. I'm not saying it is not. Social media is a must. But let social media be there on the side. You will go and see what is in the social media when you think, and bring that discipline. It is not a trick, but it is 100% discipline that you come into this thing. Focus, meditate, clear the mind space, think. Thoughts are going to make you win. Entrepreneurial journeys are all about creating good thoughts and implementing it. While I talk about innovation and thought process and thinking and all that, I strongly believe idea is not 1%, but 10%, and execution is 90%. So it is very important you have that. Anupama, did you hear my answer? And is that what you were looking for?
Yes, sir.
Thank
You,
you.
sir.
Anu Thomas, good afternoon, sir. What piece of advice would you give to college graduates who want to become an entrepreneur? I think throughout my discussion, I think there are quite a lot of opportunities in today's world, which I didn't cover. I was talking to Matthew Joseph, sir, and he was talking about creating incubation spaces. Let me also tell you, I mean, a lot of people have gotten in touch with me through LinkedIn. Anybody coming from SB College, I will accept your LinkedIn application. As a successful corporate entity, we are also, socially committed to create opportunities for you. We can look at incubating you. There are a lot of other companies like, ENY and KPMG are all looking at incubating people. Axis Bank has got a complete incubation setup. There are Y Combinator incubation. So there are quite a lot of options for you as a college graduate, but clear, have a clear idea of what you want to do, how you're going to execute, and how you're going to take it forward. Money is not the problem today. That's why I didn't touch on funds and money too much. But if you want to start up, and if you're very clear, and like I told you, close your eyes, and if you can see the vision, and continue closing your eyes, and if you can feel the emotion, then I think go for it. There are quite a lot of options. There is nothing wrong in starting up immediately after college. There is nothing wrong in getting some experience and doing after that. I think it's a fabulous thing. Go for it. Anu Thomas, is that the answer that you wanted, or you want me to discuss that a little bit more?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So Vivian Philip James, I think 26B, Vivian Philip James. Okay, I don't know. Okay. Okay, Vivian is asking the question. Sir, what key activities would you recommend entrepreneurs to invest their time in? What is the part of your life experience you would alter if you had the chance to? Two questions. What key activities would you recommend entrepreneurs to invest their time in? I would say reading. And I would say reading relevant material about successful entrepreneurial ventures, and also learning about what others have been doing. And the second most, you have asked me what is the key activities. So the second key activities is think about your idea, and that idea should solve the problems, the real life problems. Recently we started a e-commerce setup, hyperlocal e-commerce venture with Kerala Vyapari Vyavasai Ekomana Samiti. There are quite a lot of e-commerce in the market already, Vivian. What we did is we decided that there are 1 million merchants in the state of ours, Kerala. What is happening is I mean, a lot of big e-commerce companies are coming. These people are going to be phased out. We really created an e-commerce engine which will connect the local merchant and the local customer. So that is a different approach to the entire e-commerce thing. So there are quite a lot of opportunities. Keep thinking and finding out the ideas, and keep reading. Reading will give you a lot of solutions. Second part of the question is, what is the part of your life experience you would alter if you had the chance to? I may not alter. I think because failures, it's something that nobody wants. But I thought, I always tell my younger sister and my children that I think you must fail. You must always fail, because failure is a feeling, failure is an emotion. And once you fail, you're not scared again. I failed in quite a lot of places while I was studying. I failed in SP. And I've started an IT company, and the only subject that I failed in MBA was C++ programming. I realized that failing is the best experience. If you want to alter any experience, life experience or entrepreneurial experience, it is all this thing. And if at all you're talking about changing the life experience or failing, that's okay. Let's fail. I will fail again and will win again. Vivian, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Dani Sajeev, what mistakes have you made along the way, and advice would you like to give us? Dani, if I have to list down my mistakes that I've done in my entrepreneurial life, I think it will take a day or two to tell you the number of mistakes that I've done. But as I told you, if the successes outweigh your failures, you will only be noticed for your successes. People easily forget failures when you become successful. Failure, the major 2-3 failures, I think the first, the bus product, I'm still very passionate about it. I think there were quite a lot of things that I should have checked. But I think that failure gave me more benefit than negativity. So that is okay. A lot of mistakes have been happening in our business. Mistakes have happened yesterday. Mistakes have happened the day before yesterday, last week, last month. It will happen. You're not trying to stop mistakes. You're just trying to learn from them and doing it right, or trying not to make a mistake. But mistake happening is definitely experience at cost. I think, Danny, I have answered your question. Melvin Jose, how did you acquire the technological knowledge and expertise for this venture, and how did you set up your team for this fintech venture? Melvin, very interesting question. They say most of the technological ventures fail because the people who are doing this business, technological business, or creating technological products, only know technology. That's why MBAs like us matter, because we are generals. I have sold coffee, tea, and food and room in Taj. I've sold accounting packages. I've sold software bridging. I've discussed, I've handled many other packages. So technical expertise is something easy to acquire if you love that. I always loved technology, and I really learned it the hard way. But if you ask me what is an API, I might tell you. If you ask me how do you bridge two particular servers, I might tell you. But if you ask me, can you do it? I can do it. So I just know how to do the business. So, and you don't have to learn everything to do the business, as long as you have good people beside you who actually know them. Number one. Number two, technology is an aid. Technology is not the entire business. Technology is the aid. For example, Facebook, the technology is not the product. The pictures that you share, the experiences that you share, and the emotions that you share, the relationship that you create is the product. Maybe you can disagree with me, but that's what I think. Technology is the aid. You can create amazing technologies to create new businesses, but the business is not technology. There are companies doing technology as a business, but what I'm saying is you really don't have to learn everything. You have amazing people out there, and good people out there, positive people out there who will help you, and you will have to really read up and learn. Bitta Biju. Sir, what part of your life would you like to alter if you had the chance to? I told you, I think that question is repeating. But again, I wouldn't want to alter any of my part in my life, except for very personal stuff, probably very emotional with my father and all that stuff. Other than that entrepreneurial life, I don't want to alter anything, even if you give me a chance, because I think everything was a learning. Jemmy Mary Joseph. Jemmy, question is, does the notion of doing well by doing good prevail among entrepreneurial ventures in a society that values money, fame, and power? Wow, that is a very powerful question. Doing well by doing good. I also mentioned, Jemmy, that fortunately or unfortunately, the yardstick for any business is profit, or the yardstick of any business success is profit or the money that you create. So money, fame, power. Let me ask you, money is not everything, but money is very important. Fame is for some people to enjoy. Power is for fewer people to enjoy. So it all depends. And I also reiterated in my last slides that you will have to define your success. Do you think money is your success? Do you think fame is your success? Do you think power is your success? Do you think creating more value is your success? Do you think thinking and solving other people's problem is success? It all depends upon you. Doing well by doing good, it is all very relative. I think it is more a spiritual angle than doing business. Business is just another profession. If it creates wealth, so be it. If it creates fame, respect, power, so be it. As long as you can handle it well, I think it is only going to add to the society. If you don't know how to handle it well, then you know what happens. Jimmy, I just want to come back to you and ask, is that what you asked, and did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
No, don't run away from money, fame, and power. It is there in the society. It's how you use it. That's why I try to say that. Yeah, Melvin.
സാറ് മുമ്പ് പറഞ്ഞപ്പം നെറ്റും ചെറുതായിട്ട് കട്ടായിപ്പോയി. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ സാറ് പറഞ്ഞ ആൻസർ കേട്ടായിരുന്നു. ഞാൻ ആ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കാൻ കാരണം എന്താണെന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ, നമ്മുടെ ഈ എലോൺ മസ്ക് പോലുള്ള ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ ഇപ്പം ഈ ഫിനാൻസ്, MBA എല്ലാം കമ്പനിയെ റൂയിൻ ചെയ്യുവാണ്, അവര് പ്രോഡക്റ്റിന് തീർത്ത് പ്രാധാന്യം കൊടുക്കുന്നില്ല എന്നുള്ള ഓരോ പരാമർശമൊക്കെ നടത്തി. സോ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ആ ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് കാരണം ഇപ്പം പല MBA കോളേജിലും ഇപ്പം എൻറോൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന്റെ എണ്ണം വരെ കുറഞ്ഞു എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. ഇപ്പം
ഒന്നുകൂടെ പറയാം.
സാർ ഞാൻ ആ ചോദ്യം ചോദിച്ച ടെക്നോളജി ആസ്പെക്ടിനെ പറ്റിയല്ലായിരുന്നു.
അതെ.
അപ്പം ഞാൻ ആ ചോദ്യം ചോദിക്കാൻ കാരണം ഇപ്പം എലോൺ മസ്ക് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഈ ഫിനാൻസ്, ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് MBA എല്ലാം കമ്പനീസിനെ ആക്ച്വലി റൂയിൻ ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. കാരണം അവര് പ്രോഡക്റ്റിനെ അല്ല ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ അവര് നോക്കുന്നത്, അവര് ചുമ്മാ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് എൻഹാൻസ് ചെയ്യാൻ മാത്രമാണ് നോക്കുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പം ആ ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റ് കാരണം ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാല് കോളേജില് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഈ MBA ഫിനാൻസ് സെക്ടറിലോട്ട് എൻറോൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന കുട്ടികളുടെ എണ്ണം വരെ കുറഞ്ഞു എന്നൊരു സ്റ്റഡിയും കണ്ടു. അപ്പം ഞാൻ അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ചോദിച്ചത്, ഈ ടെക്നോളജി ആസ്പെക്ടിനെ പറ്റി നമ്മൾ അത് എന്തുമാത്രം അക്വയർ ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ അക്വയർ ചെയ്യാനാണെങ്കിൽ സാർ അത് അക്വയർ ചെയ്ത സോഴ്സസ് എങ്ങനെ, അതോ സാറിന്റെ കൂടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന ആൾക്കാര് പോസിറ്റീവ് ആൾക്കാരായതുകൊണ്ട് അവരുടെ കൂടെ നിന്ന് പഠിച്ചതാണോ എന്നാണ് ഞാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത്.
100%. യു ഹാവ് ഓൾറെഡി ടോൾഡ് ദി ആൻസർ. ആൻസേഴ്സ് എല്ലാം അത് തന്നെയാണ് മെൽവിൻ. ഞാൻ എന്താ പറയുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, ഐ ഓൾവേസ് തിങ്ക് ടെക്നോളജി പീപ്പിൾ കാൺ, all technology people cannot do business, and all MBAs cannot do technology, right? ഇതെല്ലാം റിലേറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് ഓരോ ആൾക്കാരുടെ അഭിപ്രായങ്ങളാണ്. ഇപ്പം ടെക്നോളജി പ്രോഡക്റ്റിനെ റൂയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഉണ്ട്, ഇല്ലാന്നില്ല. ഞാൻ ഇതിനു മുമ്പ്, ദിസ് ഈസ് നോട്ട് മൈ ഫസ്റ്റ് വെഞ്ചർ. I missed to say that I invested in another company before that, and I made quite a lot of returns. I was not actively part in that company, but I made quite a lot of returns. ഞാൻ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തതിന്റെ 14 ടൈംസ് എനിക്ക് കിട്ടി. അവിടെ ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, ചില പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ് അവിടെ വന്നത്, ഞാൻ ആ കമ്പനി വിടാൻ കാരണം ചില പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ് അവിടെ വന്നത് ആ കമ്പനിയുടെ വിഷനും തന്നെ എടുത്ത് മാറ്റിക്കളഞ്ഞു. അവർ പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഒത്തിരി കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്തു. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു ഞാൻ എക്സിറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന്. ഐ ഗോട്ട് എ ഗുഡ് പ്രൈസ് and I exited out of that. You are absolutely on the spot on. I don't know whether Elon Musk said that, but I think it is all relative. അതുകൊണ്ട് വിദ്യാഭ്യാസം ഒരിക്കലും നിൽക്കാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ട് ഫിനാൻസ് ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റുകളിലേക്ക് വരാതിരിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ട് മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ്സിന്റെ ആവശ്യം താഴെ പോകാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല. I think fewer people in this world, in the world of business, I think they are slightly overrated, or a lot of attention is going to them. Elon Musk is a great guy in terms of technology and a great entrepreneur. I really respect and I follow him. But at the same time, I'm strongly opposite for the market to behave according to him. I'm talking about crypto. So അതൊക്കെ ആപേക്ഷികമാണ്, അതൊക്കെ റിലേറ്റീവ് ആണ്. ഫിനാൻസ് അറിഞ്ഞവരും മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് അറിഞ്ഞവരും HR അറിഞ്ഞവരും ഇല്ലാതെ ബിസിനസ്സുകൾ മുന്നോട്ട് പോവില്ല എന്ന് വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണ് ഞാൻ. ഫിനാൻസ് അറിയണമെന്ന് ഞാൻ ഇതിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് തന്നെ ഞാൻ പറയുകയും ചെയ്തിരുന്നു. ഫിനാൻസ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആണ്. ഞാൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റിന്റെ കോസ്റ്റിംഗ് മുതൽ ഞാൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന എൻ്റെ ബിസിനസിന്റെ എല്ലാ മാസത്തെയും ട്രയൽ ബാലൻസും പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ലോസ് അക്കൗണ്ടും ബാലൻസ് ഷീറ്റും അതിലെല്ലാം ഉപരി ക്യാഷ് ഫ്ലോ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെന്റും വളരെ വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ട് നോക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണ് ഞാൻ. അതില്ലാതെ നമ്മുടെ പൊസിഷൻ അറിയില്ല, അതില്ലാതെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് അറിയില്ല, ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ ഫോർകാസ്റ്റ് ഇല്ലാതെ അടുത്ത 3 മാസം നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ പോകുമെന്ന് അറിയില്ല, മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് ഇല്ലാതെ നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ റീച്ച് ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമെന്ന് അറിയില്ല. സോ ഐ തിങ്ക് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് റിലേറ്റീവ്. ചില പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ചില ആൾക്കാർ ചില അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടാകും, അതിനെ വെച്ചിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ജനറലൈസ് ചെയ്ത് പറയുന്നത് ഐ തിങ്ക് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ദ റൈറ്റ് തിങ് ടു ഡു. At least I don't believe that. Okay, Melvin?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Binu, Matthew, Job, what kind of changes would you suggest in our curriculum to enhance the entrepreneurial skills of the students? I think the most important, with all due respects to professors and syllabus and SP College, I think the most important changes that we want to make it is, case studies. We'll have to seriously spend time in case studies. As an entrepreneur, I read a lot of case studies. without understanding the result. I try to solve those case studies. I also take coaching classes from people even today. I have a coaching class today afternoon also at 2:30. So I think we'll have to do a lot of case studies, how people looked at it. And the problem with our field of entrepreneurship or our field of management is that it is as dynamic as the medical science. ഇന്ന് കാണുന്ന സൊല്യൂഷൻസും പ്രോബ്ലംസും അല്ല നാളെ കാണും. So I think we'll have to keep updating them. One thing that I would like to change in the curriculum is case studies. Real life case studies നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കണം, അത് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ നമ്മൾ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കണം, അതിൻ്റെ അനാലിസിസ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യണം, അതിൻ്റെ അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് പാറ്റേൺസ് അതിൻ്റെ ഫിനാൻഷ്യൽ പാറ്റേൺസ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കണം, അതിൻ്റെ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത് നോക്കണം. എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് പ്രൊജക്റ്റിന് വരുന്ന പിള്ളേരോട് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, go analyze this company and come back. Or can you understand, take 10, 15 viral companies and can you understand and do a statistical analysis or do a statistical test to understand what led to that virality. So case studies are very important, I think, in our curriculum. I still am in touch with the curriculum. Most of it, what I studied is still relevant today, but I think a good part of it is getting updated, and I've been reading it extensively. That's why I said learning and reading is extremely important. Deepak Ravindran, do you believe there is some sort of pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur, and what is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur? Let me answer the second part of the question first. What is your favorite aspect of being an entrepreneur? The suspense that this life holds up to you. I don't know what will happen to my business tomorrow, next month. That is quite thrilling, and that challenge and thrill is something that keep me an entrepreneur today, because I have almost covering my physical aspects of the business, which is acceptability, profitability, positive cash flow, and all that. The challenge that it throws in front of me, and the questions that it raises, and the problems that it feels every day to me is something that I really enjoy about being an entrepreneur. So let me come to your first part of the question. Do you believe there is some sort of pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur? I think there is. Most of it is already discussed. Focus, meditate, think, try to solve other problem, and more so, the most successful formula I think every Indian should actually look is a very famous words from Bhagavad Gita. Karmanye vadikaraste ma bhaleshu katajana. For people who have not understood that, this has been a guiding line for my life all across. That great verse from Lord Krishna to Arjuna says that you keep on doing whatever work that you ought to do, or whatever work that you like to do, or whatever work that you are doing. Forget about what comes as a reward. It will definitely come. I think that is definitely a successful, is a very important formula for becoming successful. Success will come, but not at the time that you want it to. But if you follow, continue work, and really, really work hard, and as we discuss hustle, I think it will come. Deepak, that's the best I could answer for that question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Justy told me, what are your new entrepreneurial plans and that your plan for the future? My new entrepreneurial plan, I told you, is we're spending a lot of time on local support. Local support is a product that we are rolling out one by one, pin codes. We have started from Thrissur district. We are going to connect all local merchants in Kerala, rural and urban, to their respective buyers, which are all of us, supporting the merchant part of the business, and supporting the hyper-local business. I think there are about 5 or 6 questions. I will go a little faster and close it because there's been a lot of time. What are the challenges that you have faced while implementing campus wallet in schools? Every product has got its own challenges, Salami. Salami Varghese has asked this question, and I think the biggest challenge is non-acceptability, resistance to change, which you're already studying in many of your subjects. Convincing is the biggest part of the business at that point of time. And when they are telling you some very valid feedbacks, take it very seriously, come back, work on it, Don't think that they are just saying it because they want to avoid you. Keep giving a lot of weightage to the voice of your customers, your future customers. Arya Rajendran, what's your advice for the younger generation who are struggling in the initial stages of entrepreneurship, the basic rules, the basic things that should be overviewed before startups? I think we have discussed that already, the idea, the people, the hard work, the timing of starting the business, all of that, I think it is very important. Younger generation has got a lot of energy compared to older generation in terms of physical energy, but I think experience is also very important. Go to people who are experienced if you're not experienced. Take mentors, get people to advise you. And while you're getting people to advise you, go to a businessman, because whether he's a failure or a success, go to a businessman. If he's a success, you can understand from his success. If he's a failure, even better, you can understand your failures. I think very important, if you're not experienced, refer experience. Claire Mary, do you follow some specific self-control mechanisms to encourage you to keep walking when things are not going as smoothly as planned? I think yes, Claire. Specific self-control, or I think I'm very positive. I think I am extremely ambitious. As I told you, I can see the vision. I can feel the emotion of my vision, having digitizing the rural economy. And I think prayer and family will give you a lot of help while you are going through challenging times, because entrepreneurial journey is really, really challenging and sometimes can take you off your feet. I think it depends on people. I think destiny, not destiny. I mean, your vision, what are you trying to do? You're not even 10% of it. You're not even 20% of it. Before that, you can't just get upset. And before that, you can't just quit. Don't quit. Keep going. I think
Okay, sir. Thank you.
there's a lot of questions. I think two more questions I'll take. This is Navina Mariam Manoj. What unused resources are present in your own life that could be translated into a shared economy idea for a new venture? I think I strongly proponed an idea, which I will just explain. There are quite a lot of NRIs out there in our community. A lot of NRIs are depositing their funds into banks for FDs and real estate. They are getting only 8% or 9% returns on this thing. I think there should be a terrific movement to bring in the NRI funds, and a small part of it is, if it is invested to the youngsters like you into your business. I think that is an idea. That is a thought. If you call it an unused resource, that is a thought that I am really, really thinking that will come to, and I'm also trying towards that. Even today evening, we are talking to some NRIs to create a fund for all of you to go and take that fund, especially people from Kerala. Moving from the position of a joint director to a sales trainee, what was the immediate response from your family? I think my family always wanted me to get out and do what I liked. I'm very, very thankful to my father, especially, and my mother, for allowing me to do what I want to do. My father was not at all particular as to what I have to do. He always told me, pre-degree പഠിക്കുന്നവൻ വരെ ഞാൻ തീരുമാനിക്കും, അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് നീ തീരുമാനിക്കും. Pre-degree കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് എന്നോട് ചോദിച്ചു, what do you want to do? I said, I want to do this. Even interesting is my sister. He asked the same question to her, and she said after doing pre-degree in pre-degree in St. Teresa's in second group, she wanted to take family and nutrition science. He said, okay. And after family and nutrition science, she wanted to do MBA. He said, okay. So it is all about, my father, especially, and also my mother, allowing me and my sister to do things what we like. I think that is, there was no response. I think they were very happy that I'm going off, and they were very happy that I was coming back, and they were very happy that I'm starting a business. They're still okay as long as I do something. Last two questions. What is your advice when failure comes? How to get motivated during that period? Failure is an interim thing. You are actually, consider this. You are going in a train from here to New Delhi. It will take 3 days. Somewhere in let's say Chennai or Jolapet, the train got stopped. Are you going to get down and come back saying that you will not go to New Delhi? if you have understood what I'm trying to say. You have to reach New Delhi, whatsoever it may. That is the kind of this thing that you have to bring in. If the train is getting stopped again in many other stops, you're not going to get down and come back, right? You are going to sit in that train because even though 1 day or 2 days delayed, you want to reach New Delhi. So get into that perspective. You have to really go where you have to go. As a student, so that was for Sean, right? Okay. And Rohan, as a student, how do you develop a network of contacts and info which could be used as an aid in launching a startup idea? Think of the things that you have today. I mean, you have the power of digital media, and I think you are studying in a humongously famous college. Get people like entrepreneurs like me to come and talk to you. And I also told you, I mean, launching a startup idea, ping me, send me your idea. It might take a week for me to come back to you. If I can't do it, I'll connect you to people, especially it is my college, right? I mean, there is always a bias. There's always a bias because SB is very close to me. And whenever I see any student coming from SB and pinging me saying that, can we talk or can we connect, I always do that. This is the best way. Your college is creating a platform for you. And I also think that incubation centers are very important in our state. We are also starting incubation centers. I think SB is also planning to start an incubation center as per Matthew sir. How to approach mentors? Just go approach them. They're all good people out there. If you really want good mentors, Angel, Acnel, go approach them. Don't think that you will be successful in approaching one and getting that particular guy. Take 10 and apply. Take 10 and go and ping them in LinkedIn or find their email ID or just make a call and say that I want you to be a mentor. Go do it. That's the best way. And all of us who have created businesses from scratch or businesses from nothing. All of us are really, really excited to help you guys. I think I've discussed this with a lot of people in Kerala and outside. I have quite a lot of experience outside Kerala also, so I'm quite connected to a lot of people, a lot of business people. If you go to my LinkedIn page, you can see that I am connected to a lot of people. So if you connect to me, they become your second contact, and then go connect them. It is possible, right? You connect to me in a week's time. I'll ensure that if you're from SB College, I'll accept you as a friend, and that opens more than 1,000 mentors to you, or more than 500 solid mentors for you. Go approach saying that Asif Basheer is my friend, and Asif Basheer asked you to connect through a mentor. Go do it. Come to me. I will introduce you to people. If you really going for it, Acnel, I think you will get it. There is nothing going to stop you. I think that's the end of questions. Thanks for that. Questions, because I really always like questions, and this was like a lot of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And that is the end of the question answer session. Now I invite Ms. Asha Lakshmi, area coordinator of IIC SP College, to give the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Angel. Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Principal, Reverend Father Reggie P. Kurian, Honorable Guest, Mr. Asif Basheer, Director, Chillar Payment Solutions, Mr. Justin John, President IIC, Dr. Matthew Joseph, Convener IIC, other IIC members, faculty members, and all the other participants. It's an honor for me to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Institutions Innovation Council, St. Bergman's College on this occasion. Most, I wish to thank our chief guest and resource person, Mr. Asif Basheer, for an enlightening and entertaining session which clearly emphasized startups and entrepreneurial ventures. Even new insights in the topic, and surely would be a source of inspiration for new entrepreneurs. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experience and making this webinar meaningful. Extend a hearty thanks to for officially inaugurating the program, for his presence, and for the immense support to IIC and also for this event. Thankful to Mr. Justin John, President IIC, and Dr. Matthew Joseph, Convener IIC, for their enormous support and organization of this event. the deep sense of appreciation for the organizing committee, the entire IIC team, and the volunteers for working hard for the past few days to make this event a success. I'd like to express the gratitude to the wonderful participants who have turned up in such a great number and active participation. Once again, I thank you all for being with us this afternoon. Have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We have reached the end of the talk. Once again, we extend our gratitude to all for your cordial support and enthusiastic participation. We look forward to meet you in another event. Wishing you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thanks a lot of everybody. Thanks a lot, especially Matthew sir.
Thank you, sir.
For coordinating this with me. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.